Hey guys, this is John, your host on Mgtow is Freedom. Tonight, it's the Balvenie. And this cigar was sent to me in its own individual humidor. Incredibly expensive, incredibly delicious. Thank you very much, brother, for sending that. You know who you are. It's a Byron. Named after Lord Byron, right? The poet. Poet and writer in England 200 years ago. Back in around 1800. That is fucking good scotch. Alright, so here's the deal. I got an email from a friend of mine who lives close to the fjords of Norway. And, you know, he's had a problem with this girl. Right? He is Mgtow, but this girl's in his head. Yes, sir. And I sent him a response based on my experience with the girl who was in my head. So I think I'll tell the story about that girl, and then we can go from there. So this girl, her name was Natalie, and she was a sweetheart. She was gorgeous beyond belief. Gorgeous face, beautiful body, gigantic, firm, huge tits, perfect ass. Everything about her was a dream. In fact, the best I can do to describe how she looked was to say she was Barbara Eden from I Dream of Jeannie, except with larger, fuller, firmer breasts. But Natalie was nice. She was smart. She was cute. She was all the things that as a young man I thought a woman should be, right? But there was a complication that occurred in the relationship, right? A friend of mine who was my best friend at the time decided he was gonna trick me out of her. So he pulled a little stunt, and you know, he got me to hurt her feelings. You know, and he ended up getting her, winning her, wooing her, whatever you want to call it. And he ended up marrying her, and I believe having a couple of daughters. It's a little tricky about what happened because literally I drove from North Carolina all the way back to California in like 3 days because I wanted to talk to this girl and let her know how much I loved her and how much I cared about her, how madly in love I was with her and romantically interested in her. I drove across the country, just me, the whole way, straight. I thought that would impress upon her, you know, my feelings for her, to win her back. And she said no. You know, a couple of days later, the guy who was to be her husband, you know, I ran into them. I was on my my Kawasaki 750, kind of a rice rocket, and he was in the truck with her, and that was it. That's the last I ever saw of her in person. You know, that bothered me, the fact that I had hurt her feelings, and at that time I had believed in love. I believed that there was some girl out there that was going to be perfect for me, that she would never fuck up, right? That I would never fuck up, that everything would be perfect. Life is not perfect, though. It's far from it. You know, so a number of years later, I met my wife, who's now my ex-wife. Right? But this Natalie girl still bothered me up here. Still bothered me in here. You know, and I couldn't get over the fact, right, that I never got to talk to her again. That I didn't know what happened. That I never got a real explanation. Right? So eventually I talked to my now ex-wife's aunt, and she said, John, you need some closure. right? And I said, I've tried contacting her, can't get a hold of her. She said, well, then you just need to forgive yourself. You've done your best. Forgive yourself and done your best. It seemed like pretty good advice, right? And I did. I gave myself the forgiveness I needed because that woman wouldn't contact me. Right? She wouldn't get in touch with me. She wouldn't allow me to just say, hey, I'm sorry it didn't work out. I wish I'd done a better job. I wish I hadn't hurt your feelings. I wish that son of a bitch that you married hadn't played that fucking stunt. You know, I'd like to say a number of things, but, you know, that never happened. I saw a picture of her once on Facebook with her and her 2 daughters. And she still looked beautiful. Her daughters look like little miniatures of her. And I think I sent a friend request, and then she was just gone. She either banned me or blocked me or something, but that was it. She didn't want any contact, so, you know, basically that's a fuck you, John, or I don't need you, John, or whatever. So here's where I'm going with all of this, guys, is Mgtow is men going their own way. It's, no one gets to tell you what to do, not even other men, not even other Mgtow. No one can tell you what is right for you except you. Right? You know, Mgtow is supposed to be about, you know, not needing a woman's approval, not needing society's approval for the relationships you have. Right? Society can't tell you you have to have a woman. A woman can't tell you, right, that you're no good without her. You tell yourself what is good. You tell yourself what the rules are. So to my friend in Norway, and to everyone else who's had, right, a woman, and you're like, geez, I know, right? I know I've got love, and I miss that dream. It was a nice dream, this idea of having a woman. And as Mgtow, we realize that we're up against a wall. You can't own a woman and care for a woman anymore. You just can't. It doesn't matter what continent you are on what language you speak. You can't care for them. You can't own them. You can't love them the way you need to. Because you are handicapped as a man because of the rules of society, the rules of the countries we live in. They put us at a disadvantage. And they allow women the freedom to do whatever the fuck it is that they want. And as a result, our love, our romance and imaginations are stifled. They're handicapped. But it doesn't mean we don't have that love and that romance and belief system. Right? If the Natalie girl were to contact me, I'd probably, you know, talk to her. But I don't think today that there's any better a chance of a relationship with her than there was back then. Because she's probably damaged. Just like every other damn woman out there. Damaged, upset, right? Because they don't want to be women. They've been indoctrinated to believe that they should be satisfied. That they should get what they want. Right? So we as Mgtow say, live on your own terms. Make yourself happy. Do what you want with women, but understand that you can't own them. And if you can't own them, and I mean literally own them, then you can't ever have a relationship with them because they are empowered and educated on how to hurt men, how to take from them. And they won't really ever give themselves to you. You know, they always reserve that right to do whatever the fuck it is they want, or to change their mind, a woman's prerogative. That makes it deadly, deadly to have a real relationship with a woman like that. You can't. I can't think and explain of a way or the way to have a relationship with a woman. But what I can say is you've got to do what's right for you in this life.